How we doing? How we doing? Today is Juneteenth, June 19th, 2024. Happy Juneteenth for everyone. Um, just doing a real estate tap in with you for today. Um, what I wanted to do is kind of go over the pros and cons of seller financing. Um, why would somebody want to sell a finance? Basically, I'm gonna give about 5 reasons today. I'll give another 5 tomorrow. So the first one is you have shorter marketing time. When you're marketing a home and you put it or you list it as owner will finance or seller financing available, it usually sells on average about 20% quicker. So if you are looking, to maybe move a little bit quicker with the sale of your property, putting it as seller finance or owner will finance could speed up that process. You get more buyers. The second reason is you get more buyers. That kind of plays into, that 20% increase, because now you're not just looking for individuals who are getting approved by a bank. Seller financing is when the seller of the property is offering terms to the potential buyer, and they are essentially becoming the bank for that particular person. So anywhere from 30 to 50% of people who try to get qualified for a mortgage don't get qualified from a traditional, banking, facility, banking institution. So you have an increase in buyers. Not only, people who do get qualified from a bank, but you also have this additional 30 to 50% of people who cannot get qualified, who, for whatever reason, still can afford a home, can be a good homeowner, could be someone that could take on your particular property. The third reason, a speedy closing. You can close a seller financed type of transaction in anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks. You don't have to kind of go through that 30 to 45 days that a bank usually takes. Sometimes it takes longer. It could take 60 days, because you're not doing all of the things that a bank would do. And, bank deals with thousands of files so at a time. So they take a little bit longer to close. Number 4, you can get max selling price, and you can actually get a premium because you are offering seller financing to buyers who can't traditionally just go down to that financial institution and get approved for a loan. So because of that circumstance, you can charge a premium. Typically, seller finance homes sell about 10% more than the quote unquote value of the property. Maybe an appraised value has a property at 100,000, but when you're offering seller finance, you can usually go above that. So you can go probably up to about 110,000. So you get maximum selling price when you are willing to finance the property. And lastly, you have reduced restrictions in terms of you don't have to your reduced restrictions are on things like credit, down payment, and the buyer's source of income. That doesn't mean we don't underwrite these things properly and make sure that we have a good qualified person in there. It's just that you just have reduced restrictions from what necessarily a bank would have when it comes to someone's credit, something that's on the credit, how they make their money. We're living in a time right now where you have a lot of quote unquote gig workers or people who make money off of social media. They make money in different ways, and sometimes banks don't necessarily, because they're regulated, they can't necessarily approve this particular person. But when you're seller financing, you have more flexibility. Like I said, you have the reduced restrictions. So those are 5 reasons you want to consider, or I guess the pros of seller financing. What we'll do is we'll go into another 5 tomorrow, and then we'll also talk about the cons to end the week on Friday. There are some cons as well that you have to consider, but there are not as many cons as there are pros. And when it's done correctly, that's the key, is doing it correctly, getting the right person in there, the person that's qualified, and going through that process correctly, can be very beneficial to the seller, depending on what their situation is. So, we'll continue that tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, please make them. Please reach out. We'll answer anything that you're looking for. But now is a great time to consider seller financing, especially if you have some type of rental property, that you're a landlord on. Maybe you just don't want to deal with that hassle anymore. You can improve your cash flow and have less responsibility and less expenses on the property when you are seller financing it. So great time to do that. So look into that. If you want a free analysis on any property that you have, we can do that for you as well. So just reach out with any questions, or if you want that free analysis, we can show you what the difference would be from a rental as opposed to seller financing on the property. All right, everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.